to test whether this stream is even gonna work for a bit. Got okay, looks good. Let's see how an error occurred. Please try. Blah, blah, blah. Why does it never work on the first try? Connect streaming software to go live. Oh, that's the funny thing. I did. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's check the audio. Yep. Bit laggy at first, yeah. Okay, looks good. Yep. All right. So, quick rundown of the concept in this world I've been testing the concept in. Basically, water is flowing. It's not, it's flowing like that. And rain stocks it up, but also because rain isn't fast enough, I've made, if you can see over there, I've placed 2 creative tanks which constantly pump out water. So that's gonna be slowly filling up the world. And yeah, this pump is slowly gonna try pumping out a little bit if it ever gets too high. It's not gonna be matter at this speed, like, it's not really doing much. But it's doing it, and I just didn't bother removing it. Another thing is, water is used up when watering plants. So what I've done, and which is gonna break at current settings, I had to set it to in order for lag to not be much of a problem. So I've had to enable water flow to my farms, which are underground. Actually gonna be opening up these areas here. Yeah, it's directly under my wall. That should be good. At least for this farm, which is the only important one. Because I've automated it Okay, there we go. Initially, I just started with this mode here and a little hut I built here. I had a starter chest, but over time I noticed a bunch of things which are... Oh yeah, this is it's basically a one biome world. It's only... You've got only stony shore, yeah, that's up in the corner, you can see it. So I was missing a bunch of stuff. I made it one biome so I can't just hide in a desert somewhere. And as a result of that, I needed trees. I did have an apple in the starter chest. And so technically, using some sticks, the crafting table, a furnace, and iron I would mine up, I could have made an apple tree, which would grow with dynamic trees up into one big tree, like this. If I used a dirt bucket and, you know, that crafting process. Let me show that. You can make this, which is used to convert to and from dynamic tree saplings. But the issue with that is that never dropped any saplings, and so I would just use up the apples and not have any food and not have any saplings, and that's not good. Only recently I finally finished this roof over my big wall, outer wall. You know, I started with just the basic wall here. I've been chiseling away at this area to have an underground area. This house I've made airtight, and... lag. This used to be my entrance, like a door out here and just this fence being open, but you know, with flooding that was an issue. A little emergency tree farm, well, growing spot. These are my... Oh well, I've not quite made it airtight yet. These are my only power generation at the moment, because water wheels with flowing water are unreliable, to say the least. Okay. And other than that, the windmills are powering... You know, there's my lava storage. The windmills are powering this line of power down here. Here's my farms. Got this one I started with, which is struggling right now because I've changed the water settings. This one, and the one I've automated. But yeah, it's the basics. I've just been chipping away at the small things which I would need to solve if I was to release this in any way. I wouldn't know how I could release this other than showing the mod list, which I'm probably gonna put in the descriptions. In the description. But yeah. Since I've got limited power, I've used switches on all the power using things. And because lava is also flowing, I've had to make a little puddle here. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. Just prototyping this. Finding ways I can generate resources without having any way of consistently generating cobblestone. I wouldn't want to dig all of this stuff up because, you know, I'm gonna run out of places to dig. And if I were to run out and load more chunks, that's just gonna diminish the... I want to kind of stay in the area because I can't really have the whole world flood at the same time. By the way, this is a... I don't know if I can show that. Yeah, I should be able to. Water level used to be a lot lower, of course. I'm not sure if I've got a spot where I can show how low it is. How low it was. I'm not gonna be starting in this world. I'm gonna be starting a whole new world. And I'm gonna be trying not to be in a single biome this time. I'm just gonna be small biomes, random seeds, random seed, all of that stuff. Because this has been, you know, difficult to start, and I had to cheat in a lot of things. And I would like it to be just the initial flowing of water that I would need to cheat in using. Oh yeah, I used to have a thunderstorm, but because of immersive weathering, this kept happening, and it's not really the point of the exercise here. Okay, so... There was a river here, but at some point an underground cavern opened, and it flowed in. But... about this high, so... What am I doing? We've got coordinates. I've been watching somebody play Oilcraft, so I haven't been thinking in quote-unquote cheaty ways of that, like that. Ow. My feet. One of the biggest resources I'm missing is wool. I've been thinking about getting a mod which has some kind of flax or hemp or something like that. But yeah, I think about 20 blocks higher than normal. It's a slow process, definitely. Despite it being a constant flow, it's not instantly flooding. If I had some kind of research computer with crazy hardware, maybe it could be like that. But I don't, so it's not. One of the main reasons I built the ceiling is the sound. But yeah, if these walls were gone, this whole area would be flooded to about, at this slope, maybe. Yeah. I've gotten kinda good at that, I've gotten used to it. It's definitely very laggy. The mod is not optimized enough to actually be used in this kind of way, but I like the challenge, so I'm just, thinking back to my laptop days and imagining it's like that. But yeah, that's about the showcase of what I've done in this world. Now I'm gonna make another one just for streaming. I've tried a bunch of biomes and mod packs, I mean world gen mods, to find an alternative to Stony Shore, but let's see. Nope. I would love an option here to just change the time scale. That could be fun. I wonder if anybody has ever inverted these two and just seen how that works out. Okay, what I want to expect? Okay. Bundles. Just an extra option to the chain. Bundles, yes or no? Drink. Okay. Oh. Oh. It's gold. Oh, that's my chest. I need that mouthfeel thing. Hmm. Let's see if this area is good. I'd like the whole thing to take place at spawn because it's already got the trunk loading thing. And because I wouldn't be able to move, I'm just gonna be exploring this anyways. Weather here is gonna be snow, isn't it? Guess not. Okay. Mm. This is as good a spot as any. And And now I'm not allowed to touch that anymore. And all of this needs to go away. Yep. Let's go! First thing first, birds on that, so... I think I'm gonna be leaving out the rain this time. It was just way too annoying. For one thing, I never heard this sound. I didn't even know it made a sound. What is this? I think I may need to move a little bit further towards the source of the water. Just to make sure it's not unloaded. Yeah, it's a bit far away. Is it already? Yep, that looks like it is the water. Okay. That's a good place to start. It's what the fuck? Huh? Excuse me? Okay. Suppose it's meant to be like a glacier. So it's got random stuff in it. That's a surprising source of random stuff. If I can somehow produce this, that could be interesting, but I do believe it would be... Yeah, no, it's melting. Didn't know that. And again, in both the playthroughs where I used immersive weathering, I've been rather stationary, so... Oh. Not gonna be using up the prime pickaxe. It's gonna go above the fireplace. One thing I had to check a bunch and just kind of deal with now is the way I initially made the base, and the reason I had to fix some stuff with the had to fix some stuff with the farm is one of the settings, which is a lot more interesting to look at for the water, is way too laggy for me to just casually mine. I would mine a block, mine the next, and the first one will reappear, then the next, then this one maybe mines. Like a 1 in 3 chance to just, or a 2 in 3 chance to not have the mine block actually be mined. So I would have to mine stuff 2 or 3 times. And when you've got dynamic trees, which can increase the mining time for a single tree to like a good minute sometimes, that's not fun. I've more than a few times died because a tree landed on my head, which was cut down like a minute ago and just hasn't yet completely registered. I've lost a good few helmets to that because it instantly did like 20,000 damage or something. That definitely needs adjusting. I was thinking I'd want to do stuff outside, but alright. Night. I had my own compound in this pack for so long that I've not really thought about that being a thing. I want to have it listen to something in the meantime. Just a little bit of...
Because there were more cars driving longer distances. Self-driving cars will only make this worse.
You know,
when people are
just something
having to pay attention
liked.
to the road, they'll be able to go through their emails or take conference calls from their autonomous vehicle. So why live in a suburb at all? Why not live in a cottage in the middle of nowhere where land is plentiful and taxes are cheap? This will result in an exponential increase of the amount of vehicle miles traveled, with millions of cars driving very long distances regularly and putting even more strain on our transportation system. And it's going to make the existing problem of financing suburban infrastructure even worse. See my Strongtown series to learn how suburbanization and car-centered development is literally bankrupting North American suburbs already. But if you believe in the marketing of autonomous vehicles, then this technology will advance exponentially. Vehicles will communicate with each other to travel efficiently. Autonomous pods will merge seamlessly onto high-speed self-driving highways for even higher throughput and speeds. And vehicles will be more efficient than ever through platooning or whatever. In this vision of the future, the transportation problems of today will seem laughably archaic, and we will achieve levels of efficiency we could only dream of. Here's a marketing video from Ford showing what they think the city of the future will be like. Look at all these problems with a modern city. Of course, these problems were caused by people using their cars in the first place, but don't worry about that, because buying their new cars will fix everything, so it's fine. Look, there are e-bikes and parks, futuristic trains, less parking. People can cross the street wherever they want, and magic crosswalks will appear. There are vacuum trains, pedestrian plazas, blue skies, and lots of trees. Every single problem will be solved. What's not to like? But before we get too excited about our utopian self-driving future, it's worth looking back at previous
Gonna be a
promises
chill
of
stream.
the automobile industry. At the
Decided to just not
1939
try to be
New York World's
entertaining
Fair, General Motors
all the
presented
time.
Futurama, the high-tech city of the future,
Just
in the year 1960.
keep
This
playing.
exhibit was absolutely huge. They had a ride that would take you over the city and even a life-size model of an urban neighborhood. In Futurama, car traffic would be eliminated completely with advanced motorways. These would be separated from all other traffic and allow cars to drive faster than ever before. Pedestrians would be able to comfortably walk through the city on elevated walkways while car traffic was safely whisked away on the roads below. But the reality was quite different. The motorways promised by Futurama were built, but they just induced demand for more driving and more car ownership, which was the car industry's real purpose in the first place, of course. They wanted to sell more cars. Instead of being the salvation of the city, elevated freeways divided and destroyed neighborhoods. They flooded city streets with car traffic, increased pollution, and left municipalities with massive tax burdens and maintenance liabilities. To the point where many cities have spent billions to remove urban freeways in an attempt to repair the damage. There are many accounts online that show the destruction that happened to American cities because of car infrastructure, and I'll leave some links in the description. My point here is that new transportation technology can and will fundamentally change our cities, especially if there's money to be made. So we need to seriously consider how AVs could negatively affect cities so that we can prepare for them today. As AV technology improves, it will start to arrive in personal vehicles. Just like with cars, the first mass adoption will happen in suburbia, especially in the US and Canada. Suburbanites spend too much time sitting in traffic as it is, and it will allow those people to live even farther away from the city where property is even cheaper, so it will definitely be worth the cost for any reasonably wealthy suburbanite. And designing AVs for suburban roads is a much easier problem than for
6
busy cities,
FPS.
so they'll be faster to market
Yikes.
too. AVs will be proven safer than human drivers, so AV companies will lobby to have AV-only lanes installed on highways and throughout the suburbs. For those who can't afford their own autonomous vehicle, suburban municipalities will subsidize robotaxis in place of public transit. Entire suburban neighborhoods will be built that are only accessible by autonomous vehicle, which has the added benefit of keeping any undesirable people out. This is the next logical step to the gated communities that are already common across the US. Suburbs will rapidly expand to consume even more valuable land. Power lines, water pipes, sewage pipes, and all other infrastructure will become even longer and more spread out, but there'll be so much money and debt flooding into suburbs on the promise of building the city of the future that nobody will stop to think about it. And besides, the bills to maintain it all are decades away. In other words, literally exactly what happened in the post-war suburbs of the last century. Autonomous vehicle companies may be making record profits from suburbanites, but the line must go up, so they'll look towards the cities, and their primary objective will be to eliminate the competition. In the 1920s, Los Angeles
Break
had
sidewalk
the
users' legs.
car network in the world, but service declined significantly.
Imagine just having the Pinkertons running around with batons and just
Couldn't compete with a heavily
crack
subsidized
people's legs
road and
open.
highway system. Private street
My, looks like somebody's doing an awful lot of stepping in this car city. Seems like an awful shame if something were to happen to the footsies. Crack 'em, boys.
History is going to repeat itself here. The companies who finance autonomous vehicles are going to do everything in their power to cancel transit projects, lobby against funding for public transportation, and replace public transit with their private robotaxis. There will be autonomous bus concepts promised, and some of these will go into operation to replace today's buses and trams, but the real money will be in private AVs and robotaxis. Robotaxis will be pitched as a more efficient form of transportation by offering door-to-door service, and any train or transit lines will be converted to AV lanes. But there's nothing more space efficient than a train. This 18-lane freeway in Toronto is over 100 meters wide, but it moves fewer people per day than this single subway line because trains are so much more space efficient than cars. In the early 1900s, the Brooklyn Bridge in New York moved over 420,000 people per day, but in the 1950s, the trolleys were removed to make way for cars. Since then, the Brooklyn Bridge has never moved more than 180,000 people per day, well under half as many as when there was public transit. The same thing is going to happen to our cities with AVs. The decrease in space efficiency moving from shared transit to private transportation, coupled with the massive increase in demand for cheap subsidized AV rides, will result in a massive increase in the number of vehicles in our cities. AV companies will lobby for some roads to be designated as autonomous only. This will be pitched as a way to increase safety and efficiency, but the ultimate goal will be to eliminate public transit and human driving and get everybody to sign up to an AV subscription instead. Here's how a concept of this called Loop NYC was launched by a New York engineering company a few years back. In this video, they assigned certain
time to get
They claim that
move
this
on.
would be so much more efficient that other streets could be blocked off to cars completely and turned into a giant linear park. But AV companies aren't going to be happy giving up any roads, as their success is dependent on offering door-to-door service. So AVs will be required to go everywhere. They'll even argue that AVs should also be allowed in pedestrian areas because they're safer than human drivers and will offer an important service for people with mobility issues. When there's no price put on driving, competing robo-taxis will circle the block in order to have the quickest response times. Private AVs will drive around automatically to get the cheapest parking rates while their owners are at work. The parking lots that we were told would become obsolete will be converted to solar AV charging stations for both private AVs and robotaxis. And they'll jump between stations for whichever one has the cheapest prices. So despite what the car company propaganda might show you, AVs are not going to let us replace roads and parking lots with parks. Autonomous vehicles will demand even more space in our cities, and they're going to get it. The next problem will be pedestrians. As AVs become more common, people will realize they can cross the street wherever they want because AVs will always stop. And there is no way that AV companies are going to put up with that. They'll claim that people crossing the street are crippling the transportation system, and they'll demand that fences be put up along important streets and roads. Bamberg is a small town in the U.S. state of South Carolina. Like pretty much every American town, they had a traditional main street. But this main street also became the main highway through town, and all of that downtown activity, especially all those people crossing the street, was interfering with the flow of car traffic. So they decided to widen the street and install fences along the sidewalks to prevent people from crossing mid-block. After construction was done, car traffic moved much more efficiently. And within a few years, every single shop in downtown Bamberg went out of business. And today, it looks like a ghost town. Because believe it or not, people don't enjoy being on a cramped sidewalk next to high-speed traffic. This was a
just one. Okay, fuck it.
stupid idea, of course, but I bring this up because before the project, the director of the Chamber of Commerce said that the project will, quote, be a major boost to the economy for the county and downtown Bamberg. There are a lot of people who genuinely believe that if car traffic moves more efficiently, then businesses will thrive. And the exact opposite is true. Cars don't buy things, people do. So if you make a place inhospitable to people, nobody will buy anything. Expect the same thing to happen with autonomous vehicles. As the fences go up, there'll be no reason for AVs to drive slowly.
I wonder if lobbying had anything to do with that, or if it was still called bribes.
Inhospitable places where people won't want to be.
And it was black and white footage, after all.
With public transit, human drivers, and pedestrians out of the way, AV companies will demand an end to speed limits. They'll argue that these restrictions, designed for human drivers, are irrelevant for vehicles driven by a computer. This will result in a huge increase in vehicle throughput and will be considered a tremendous success. So But when AVs are driven faster, pedestrian and cyclist fatalities will increase. AVs may have lightning-fast reaction times, but at high speed, the laws of physics win every time. Now, there will be outcries when someone is killed, and people will demand to slow down AVs to make them safer, but history will repeat itself again. Today, cars are a reality that we deal with just about everywhere, but when automobiles were first introduced, people did not want them in their cities. Cars were clogging up city streets and killing thousands of people every year. By the 1920s, the general public was very anti-car. Several cities had plans to require speed governors on all cars entering the city, and they introduced high fines for dangerous driving. But the automobile industry was not about to go down without a fight. They fought to get car-friendly politicians elected and voted down any anti-car legislation. And did they do anything to make their cars less likely to kill people? No, of course not. They invented and spent millions promoting the concept of jaywalking to make it the fault of the victims for not looking where they were going. This changed cities almost overnight. Streets went from being a common place for everyone to a place exclusively for cars just a few decades later. The jaywalking of the 21st century will be the transponder that everyone will be required to wear when walking outside if they want to avoid being killed by a car. When someone is hit by an AV, people will ask, well, were they wearing their transponder? And the news will report, the victim was not wearing a LiDAR reflector. These faster cars will also create more pollution and noise. Cars are a major contributor to pollution within cities. Air quality will improve as cars transition to electric, but electric cars will not solve this problem. Because a major source of local pollution from cars comes from the erosion of the tires, brakes, asphalt, and road markings. And all of these emissions increase as cars get heavier and drive at higher speeds. Cars also create a lot of noise pollution in cities, and that is not just uncomfortable, it literally creates a stress response that leads to physical problems, and I've talked about that in a previous video.
Okay.
There's a common belief that electric cars will
Now,
solve the noise problem, but that's not really true. Because once a car goes above about 50 kilometers per hour, the sound of the tires becomes louder than the sound of the engine, and this gets worse as cars get heavier. Plus, the faster the car goes, the louder this noise becomes. Many cars in Oslo are electric, but it's still very loud on this pedestrian bridge over the highway. With all of the extra electronics and computers, AVs will be heavier than today's cars, and they're going to be driven faster too, which will make the air toxic near autonomous vehicle highways. And the noise from the tires on the road surface will be deafening, making these areas uncomfortable.
yeah, in the future, and there's some kind of big flood going on because of global warming. I advise not cutting down trees. I would advise just doing it sparsely and see, exactly that's what happened. And that's why I've got keep inventory on. Because I ain't having it.
Autonomous intersection management for high-speed intersections without traffic lights. This is the animation that made me really think twice about the future of self-driving cars, because when I looked at it, the first thing that crossed my mind was, it would really suck to have to cross this intersection while walking or cycling. Of course, there will be people who protest and complain. They won't want their neighborhood being cut in half by an AV highway. But we can't have these.
As long as the model is there, it should be unsafe. As soon as the model is gone, it should be safe. And if one were to happen before the other, it should be the safety changing from unsafe to safe.
In New York City, they completely destroyed some neighborhoods and separated others. A handful of pedestrian bridges like this one were built to reconnect neighborhoods. These bridges are awful. They require walking up long ramps, they feel like dirty concrete trenches, and they're really ugly. The chain link fence separates you from the high-speed traffic below, but the noise and pollution from cars is unbearable. These were clearly built to benefit drivers by keeping pedestrians out of the way and not for the benefit of people walking. In the AV city, you won't be able to cross the street. You'll need to go out of your way to the nearest pedestrian bridge, walk up the ramp, cross the bridge, and walk back down to where you want to go. All well and enduring the deafening sound and toxic air of the high-speed traffic below. This will be the city of the future. Streets that are completely consumed by autonomous vehicles. Intersections that are impossible to cross. Cities that are carved up by self-driving expressways, creating islands that are infeasible to leave on foot. With air and noise pollution so bad, it makes travel outside unbearable. We'll have a transportation system that consists entirely of autonomous vehicles, so that you won't be able to do anything, go to work, go to school, even buy food for your family without paying an AV company to get you there. And once every other form of transportation is either eliminated or infeasible, the autonomous vehicle companies will ramp up prices. They'll be able to charge whatever they want because we'll have no alternatives. So what can we do about it? Well, this brings me to my fundamental issue with the entire concept of self-driving cars. I grew up in a car-dependent city called London, Ontario, Canada, and despite its Thames River, Oxford Street, and Covent Garden Market, it's nothing like real London, a kind of fake London, if you will. When I arrive in fake London by train, I'm on the side of a high-speed strode across from a surface parking lot. There isn't much left of downtown, and my only option to get anywhere is a taxi. The city is very spread out and designed almost exclusively for cars. Bus service is highly unreliable and slow, and there's no way I would feel safe enough to ride a bike here. I have to drive pretty much everywhere to do pretty much anything, which, I gotta say, kinda sucks. Too many people drive really dangerously. And there are regular news stories about people being killed in car crashes. So
The only reason I'm not using wood for this is aesthetics.
the idea of having the car take care of all this
I like the way my compound looked in the other world.
But then I
So I'm gonna be trying to recreate that a little bit.
Utrecht is a city in the middle of the Netherlands, and I have to go there fairly regularly for one reason or another. The population of Utrecht is very similar to that of fake London, but otherwise, these cities are very, very different. So, you're probably thinking that it's almost comical to compare Utrecht to London, right? I mean, it seems ridiculous because these cities have almost nothing in common. And yet, 100 years ago, they were pretty similar. Sure, the architecture was different, but the fundamental design of the city was pretty comparable. Both were compact, walkable cities full of mixed-use neighborhoods and
Make this whole thing.
streetcars because both cities were founded long before automobiles were invented. Over the 20th century, both cities embraced the automobile and both cities built wide roads and highways. Utrecht filled in a canal in their city center and turned it into a highway.
That sounds terrible.
Closed a neighborhood to build a wide road straight into downtown. Utrecht and London both even bulldozed part of their city center to build a suburban-style shopping mall, and these malls were both the first of their kind in their respective countries. Utrecht was about a decade behind London, but otherwise these cities were on exactly the same path. That is, until about the 1990s when Utrecht decided to change course, due to growing concerns about the negative impact of car-centric development. They made a fundamental decision to make the city friendlier to people walking and cycling, to reduce car traffic, and to create better public spaces.
What less lobbying does to a motherfucker.
The city center was turned back into a canal. You'd never know that this used to be a highway. And today, that downtown shopping center is connected directly to a new train station via a pedestrianized area, and closely integrated with the rest of the city on the other side. It's such an incredible difference to arrive in this place by train compared to fake London. Despite having almost the same population as my hometown, it hosts the busiest train station in the Netherlands, transporting over 200,000 people per day, with over 1,000 daily departures on national and international trains. There are hundreds of destinations within walking distance of the station, and there are great connections to other forms of public transit, including this new tram system. Underneath the station is the world's largest bicycle parking garage, with spaces for over 12,000 bicycles. And I can pick up one of the hundreds of rental bicycles using my transit card and cycle to any destination. I can cycle anywhere I want quickly and easily, and because of the high-quality infrastructure, I never feel unsafe. It also helps that car volumes are low and so are the speed limits. Near the train station,
Not quite sure what kind of design I'm gonna be using for the room.
transit. This is one of the busiest cycling paths in the world, and
Looks
I've
equal.
certainly seen more people cycling in 5 minutes here than I have in my entire life in fake London. Walking around the city is also convenient and comfortable. The streets are lined with interesting shops and restaurants, and there isn't a surface parking lot in sight anymore. There are many nice residential neighborhoods, and it's remarkably quiet too, because as I've realized over the years, cities aren't loud, cars are loud. I don't feel unsafe walking and cycling here, so the safety promises of autonomous vehicles don't really seem to matter much. There isn't a lot of traffic because there are viable alternatives to driving. People aren't forced to drive here, so the only people in cars are those who need to drive or those who really want to drive. Self-driving cars are supposed to provide mobility to children, the disabled, and the elderly, and yet I see all of those people getting around just fine in Utrecht, because universal access to mobility isn't a fundamental issue, it's a problem caused by car dependency. Would this guy be better off in a self-driving car? Maybe, I didn't ask him, but it's not like he's unable to get around independently here, like would be the case where I'm from. Now, Utrecht isn't perfect, and the city still shows the scars of that 1960s car-centric development, but it also just doesn't have most of the problems that autonomous vehicles are supposed to solve. And yet, they did it without any advanced technology, without spending hundreds of billions of dollars, and without letting their city be controlled by the whims of multi-billion-dollar corporations either. If everybody here was in self-driving cars, this place would be much, much worse. So it seems what we really need is not driverless cars, it's carless drivers. I think Utrecht and cities like it can provide a template for what we should be doing to prepare for self-driving cars.
Okay.
We need to limit where cars can go, and that includes autonomous vehicles. Utrecht has many places that are off limits to cars, but motor vehicles are still extremely useful sometimes, so access is still provided.
Can you believe I thought about using shaders for this pack?
Disabilities. We need fewer cars in cities.
14 FPS, Jesus Christ.
Tear down urban freeways that divide neighborhoods and turn the space into parks, shops, and houses. Cars should go and not through them. We should make it impossible to drive through the middle of the city by car. The most direct route should only be accessible by walking, cycling, and public transit, enforced by modal filters. We also need to lower speed limits now to make the streets safer today, but also to reduce noise and pollution. Lowering speed limits can sometimes be controversial, but after it's done, there is nearly universal support to keep them low. So let's do it now before AVs take a foothold. We need to remove parking, especially surface parking lots. We're never going to be able to charge for parking once cars can drive themselves, so let's start removing parking spaces now and turn them into something more useful. And let's stop building any new parking garages too. After all, they tell us they won't even be necessary once we have autonomous vehicles, right? So let's not build them at all. Instead, let's build more mixed-use walkable neighborhoods so that the places where people live, work, and shop are closer together, making it easy to get where you're going without needing a car at all. And safe sidewalks and bike lanes should be part of the standard street design guidelines, so they're built automatically with every new construction. We need to invest in functional and viable public transit, especially infrastructure that is difficult to remove. History has shown us that bus routes will get overrun by cars, so we need more trams and trains and a lot more dedicated transit lanes. And we have to ensure that public transit remains under democratic control so that it can never be captured by private corporations. And most importantly of all, and I cannot stress this enough, we need to put a price on driving. We absolutely must keep AVs from circling around and clogging up our streets. The gas tax is going away as cars transition to electric anyway, so let's replace it with something better. Cars should be charged based on how much they drive, but also when they drive too, with a higher price during periods of peak congestion. If we do all of these things to fortify our cities, then we might just be ready for the onslaught of autonomous vehicles. Then we can allow AVs into the city on our terms, provide transportation where it's genuinely needed, not just where it profits tech companies the most. And if the naysayers are correct, that self-driving cars really are just a pipe dream and they never reach mass adoption, then I guess we'll do all that work and just be left with beautiful, functional, efficient, and sustainable cities accessible to all, and that might just be the best outcome. If you'd like to learn more about great cities or just want more urbanist content, there are lots of relevant videos here on Not Just Bikes, but I can also recommend several other channels such as City Beautiful, City Nerd, and RM Transit. Like the City Beautiful video, How to Remove a Highway, about the strategies that several cities have used to remove urban freeways. And the absolute best place to watch all of those channels is on our streaming service, Nebula. Nebula is the fastest growing independent streaming service on the internet. It's got thousands of unique, interesting, and thoughtful videos from hundreds of talented creators. Think of it like Netflix, but for people who love trains. On Nebula, you can watch all of my videos early, before they're available on YouTube, and without any ads or sponsorship messages. Nebula also produces content that's not available anywhere else, like the highly entertaining series The Getaway or Abigail Thorne's.
I wonder if I should activate your just to make sure that people know I'm
Nebula, though, is that it's owned and operated by creators,
there.
including me. So it's designed to benefit creators and their fans, not advertisers, venture capitalists, or media conglomerates.
Let's see.
Nebula allows creators like me to tell better stories and with better production values. Taking creators to the next level is what Nebula is all about. There is no way I could have afforded to make this video with custom 3D animations and high-quality video footage on.
Let's check if there's another video by the guy. Nope. And what's the next one in line? Video on Gmod maps. Okay. Stream. Which one was it? PNG Tuber Plus? Probably. Yeah. Is it working? I don't think. Oh no, that's the guy. I need to move them. Okay, settings. It says WASD to move the sprite, but it's not moving the sprite. I'm having some issues here. Okay. 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 Looks good. Now I just need to hope that the microphone settings aren't randomly breaking, like they like to, and I should be good. Hmm. If I were to have a line alongside these, I could place hoppers on the back and have coal and whatever other fuels they use flow in there. I think this area is gonna be for a tree. But like it's gonna break through this soul. And I'm gonna extend my roof by one at this area. I started playing another mod pack entirely, just some kitchen thing somebody else made. And it has the Origins mod. I chose Goblin, thinking, that could be neat. I'm small, and it's annoying. I can understand why they get angry. Like my usual thing is to sneak and just mine over there, but I'm basically like, for me it looks like this. Like that's how narrow it is. Definitely need some mine for a bucket. I'm not gonna be starting to clean that up with block placement. That's just way too annoying. That makes sense. That looked right to me. Right. Does it work if I... Yep, like gravel. Interesting. Because of the massive trees, dynamic trees I mean, planting and harvesting needs to be given a lot more consideration. Even if we were to convert these, by the way, the settings are set up so that they would, on planting, turn from vanilla saplings into modded ones. Dangerous. Danger zone. There we go. No saplings from that, eh? These small grown ones are an issue for sustainability. But I know dark oak is pretty good on that. It grows big enough for that to not be an issue. And once I've got a farm going and some composting, it should be even less of one. Like this one is what you would usually get from growing. And they've got plenty leaves. It's gonna be fine. Not even gonna start. Not even gonna start. Okay, so mining's gonna happen in this direction. My mouth disappeared. I think my mouth has disappeared. Where's my mouth gone? Oh, it's the costume stuff. Let's get rid of all of them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because the hotkeys are by default just the number keys, so, you know, that's not good. Okay. Now it's better. Gonna mine until this one breaks. And then use the others to fill out the rest of the tunnel. I'm just gonna need to have this stuff in order to properly prepare. It's not gonna come up for a while because of that initial wall I built. But it's gonna happen. So I better prepare. By the way, I've never really gotten apple trees to work with dynamic trees. I don't know if I'm not patient enough or if they are broken. Just never really worked for me. Yeah, cars, eh? I never learned how to drive one. I've decided pretty early on I'm not gonna be taking part in that. Anything I'd like to do, I'd only really like to do if I can get there by train or other means. Ended up not being a lot. That I could get to by just those means. Not because it's impossible or something, no. Many places had opportunities that were incredibly quickly set up when COVID came around. No, but once many people stopped worrying about that, suddenly all of those opportunities were torn down really quickly, and it's like very fast. Trying to get to a doctor, you only really need to talk to because that's all they do. Those specific doctors, and they tell me they've had cameras, they've used them, things were well, but not many people used them, and so they took them all away, which is kind of a weird thing to do when not many people use your kind of service in the first place. It's like having a sample size of 10, and 9 of them don't do a specific thing, so you make sure that one person can never ever try to make use of that one thing. That just means you've got 9 customers at that point. Great. High IQ specimen only, I'm certain. There's a lot of stuff like that here in Germany. It's advanced and backward at the same time. In a lot of ways, it's like America, but in America you can see the malice, you can see the greed, the lust for money. Here you just see dumb people doing dumb stuff. Like in America, I would definitely have come up with a conspiracy theory that they had for some reason stopped doing that kind of stuff. Which I wouldn't know if they did, but there I could see maybe somebody had some kind of agenda behind removing that kind of access to psychological help. Here I just see a person not understanding technology and people, whose job is people, and who live in 2024. So, technology should really be a part of what they do. wall's gonna be for both monsters and water. I would have loved doing this with some kind of monster mod, which, you know, respects walls, but also insists on getting to you. But all the ones that create some kind of invasion or threat which approaches you in a way that's interesting, you know, suddenly you've got the mining zombies and the exploding whatevers, and walls are just, you know, a 2-second reprieve from constant danger, 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 and this is nice. This is a threat. I need to worry about it, but I don't need to think about it constantly, every waking moment. It's something I need to prepare for, and most importantly, something I can prepare for. Like that base I showed you is basically, if this was some kind of a seeing if you can get to the base state of Minecraft, that's as close as you can get. I've got oxygen tanks, I've got, you know, walls, I've got my own little biome enclosed by glass ceilings, so once it gets really bad, I can see that, and that's gonna be looking really cool. I kind of want to accelerate the water flow just to see that, you know? If I were to try the same thing with Escape and Run Parasites, they've still got a biome stage, at which point it's gonna start growing grass, which is gonna start growing on every surface, and it's gonna start destroying blocks above where it grows, and they've still not fixed it. Not because they don't know. I believe the latest status was, I need to correctly format a bug report, and there's no guide on how to properly do that. And asking got me nowhere. Let's finish this. My mouse is stuck again. There's settings there which are meant to make sure that doesn't happen, but it keeps happening. I don't know, randomly the bar just rises to the top. It's not a sound, at least not in all the recordings I've looked at. But just the program freaking out for some reason and giving me peak values, meaning my mouth is stuck open sometimes. I've still not recolored the clothes. I wanted to do that. I've got the PSD file, so I can. I just haven't. 10 a.m. on a Sunday. I started reading SCP Wiki again. I've been looking for a specific story I can't find anymore. And so I've just been looking through a specific tag and opening all the ones which have potentially related titles. And as one does, interesting sounding ones. And so I've been reading a lot of interdimensional stuff. And what I'm actually looking for is some kind of lottery ticket box. Or rather a box with a piece of paper inside of it. It could actually be a proposal now that I'm thinking about it. And basically with 4 iterations. The first 3 iterations of the SCP, the world ends in some kind of wild way. After they've opened the box and looked inside, and there was some kind of text related to how the world ends. And the last entry is just nothing happens, and in the box there's the text that says you win. So, you know. That's fun. I really dislike vanilla playthroughs that are made to look non-vanilla. Like, making thumbnails that look like there's something non-normal going on, like a round nether portal, or some kind of creature that's not really in the video because it's just a statue that's making stuff happen, and you hired somebody to make a 3D model of what it would look like if it was in the game. Stuff like that. Okay. Just feels like, you know, you've got these people doing incredibly talented stuff. And, you know, just using vanilla. Things I couldn't even imagine sometimes doing in modded Minecraft. And they have this, feel the need to pretend that it's more than what it is when it's already amazing, in a way that hides how amazing the thing is they've done, because it doesn't use mods. And using incorrect terms like fully automated, when you've got to have a player standing next to it, holding left or right click, just to replant stuff like fully automated tree farm in hardcore. Yeah, I mean, Sure. Right. Come. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Right? That just feels bad. Can I throw in one of them? And it's like watching a vegan eat a bad vegan burger. Like 10 years ago, you know? One of those. Tastes like peas, smells like peas, looks like peas. And the consistency of shit. And smiling at you, look and saying, just as good. Sometimes. Sometimes it's better what they do in vanilla Minecraft. Or, you know, amazing for what it is. But sometimes it's a really bad machine that could have been done in Ron or 20 or some really interesting ways in modern Minecraft, and they say, oh, look, just as good as modern Minecraft. I may as well be playing modern Minecraft, but I'm not. I like this. And you're just looking at them chewing their shitty pea burger. And you're thinking, man, you think you're better than me? Uh, why? What makes you think? Look at that. Spit it out. Stop chewing. You know? That kind of feeling. Okay, tempted to change the settings of our water flows real quick. Settings where I can just make a channel here and it's gonna quickly flow to until there's just puddles left, like this. But I think I want to keep it as it is so that I'm not tempted to make farms that rely on a laggy method again. I want to do at least have the stuff in front of my door gone. I think the rest I'm gonna make into a little pond, maybe. For fishing. But if I've got this directly in front of my door, I'm gonna at some point be running from something and I'm gonna get shot in the water and die. Crazy the distances they can still explode at. It's clear at some point I think they were changed or adjusted to not even really care about damaging the player, more care about damaging the environment. Because at the distances they explode at, it's just wild. Either that or it's a lag problem. Which could be. I've definitely had better experiences without lag when fighting creepers, but you know, who doesn't? I have made a terrible mistake. I've got immersive weathering, and I started in a taiga biome. That means berry bushes. That means so many berry bushes. Oh no. I think I'm gonna remove the intermediate wall over there. Because of how it's set up. Hold on, let me... just quickly take a look. Right here, so that, you know, that stops that. It's gonna go down here. It's gonna flow all the way down here. And look at that. It's gonna have to fill this up. And then fill the surrounding area up. And then flow back up here until it's, you know, then it's not gonna be a danger for me anymore. So, you know. It's gonna be a while. Mm. Something funky is going on over there. I need to check that out. I believe some... and oh no, it's snails. Right, it's snails leaving snail trails. Amazing. I've installed a bunch of mods to increase the amount of animal types. You know, stuff that's not just a remodeled, reskinned cow. Stuff that actually behaves differently, and you know, this... I do believe this qualifies. Huh. Oh, amazing. I think I want one of these in my base. Huh. Oh, they follow me when I do it. Okay. First, let's collect some of this mucus. I would usually go the slime ball route, the dough route. But if I can use this way of making slime balls, that could be interesting. Oh, but this is... Now, if normal animals are annoying to lead back home, that's, this one's a whole other beast. Literally. But they're coming. Have you ever seen a snail, you know, go at it? Not just one, it's... I mean, if it's shelled snails, yeah, but like slugs, they really are just, you know, like snakes, but slimier. And hanging from random stuff. Really weird. I'm just gonna assume these are not gonna be affected by berry bushes. Plant 2 of them. I know, now I remember. I think the regrowth mod was, which was causing them to overflow the area. I had another mod pack going at one point where I kept getting pricked by random berry bushes, and it was incredibly annoying. Speaking of food, I'm gonna take a few bites. Alright, back. I'm thinking staircase deeper in here. build a sort of compound. I think what's gonna be fun for now is gonna be not caring about whether I'm gonna make it with just this and just seeing it become a problem later. You know, like a little conflict in these kind of things, right? By the way, this is definitely not proportional. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. What do I have as options? I've got chiseled water-type stone, what I can use. Got this. Hmm. Anything? Nope, not directly. Can make this. I never really like placing bricks like that on the floor directly. Feels wrong. Another modpack I tried playing for a little bit was Fear Nightfall or Fear the Night or something like that. BuffPub was playing it, I think 6 months ago. I tried looking for more episodes, but nothing was there, so I wanted to try it out myself. And don't like it. Definitely better with friends, but so is everything, so it's probably not very good. Or not my thing. I had a zombie digging his way into my walled compound I built there, and I've had a door right there, so, you know, if the zombie had broken down the door instead, I would have said, oh man, oh gee, my fault, I should have fortified this area a little bit better, but no. Direct through the floor. Through stone. Wooden doors right there. And it decides, you know what? Floor is optional. And, you know, that meant installation was optional. It's, just about crossed the line into unfun nerfing of and buffing of stuff. Another bullshit thing is the building I spawned in had a redstone contraption which set the time to midnight. And the name of the pack was Fear the Night, or Fear Nightfall. So whenever I went out I thought some kind of random enemy inflicted me with some kind of blindness effect that I couldn't see. Until at some point I checked and figured out, oh no. Environmental controller. Funny. Funny. And you know, spent like 5 nights waiting for day to come. See it's day, walk outside, it's night again. And I didn't even know it's night because, you know, all the shaders were the shader was so overblown that it made everything look gloomy all the time, even at bright daytime, because bright daytime meant slightly lighter nightfall, and you know, at that point I just decided that's not for me. Okay. It's gotta be where the next chamber down is gonna be. I think this time I'm gonna be making a tower. I saw the movie Annihilation and I didn't really like it, and then I read a bit about what the book is like, and I bought the book and I started reading it, and I really like it a lot, and I feel like they could have made a lot more interesting visuals with just what's in the book. Okay, before I make anything here, I'm gonna be marking this spot. And in fact, there was no legs back there. Alright, so I'm gonna be about aiming for that, but first I'm gonna straight go for it. To grab those blocks and to have a reference. I've always wanted to build a village in a pit. And this is gonna probably be getting pretty close to a model for that. Multi-layered structure, winding overhangs, and winding staircases, whole empty sections. Hate that stuff. Mm, 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 mm. I've recently bought the entire Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movie series. No, Jurassic Park 1 through 3, and Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3. And I was amazed. I think it was the second or third Jurassic Park movie, which had a bunch of stuff in it. Just extra material, which we used to get with just about every movie, and now barely get at all. And it's just amazing. And it's such a shame that we lost that era of DVD menus. You know, there's all essay videos on it. And, you know, like with many problems we can't really directly solve, I would generally just summon them up as they are gone and it sucks. And they had a full Flash game thing on that. That's not cause the discrepancy. Like one of the things on the DVD was a whole little park tour thing. Kind of like the system they fed in the cars from the first park idea they had, which obviously never came to fruition. I don't know if many people said that the Jurassic World movies are worse or bad in general. But I have to say, aside from a few decisions, which were obviously not very good, like, you know, having an incident and deciding to not evacuate because the guests could get angry on a park famous for its predecessor having had many people die because of lack of safety and, you know, a little bit of sabotage. Actually, it's kind of underplayed. Just about every bad thing that happened with the dinosaurs was, you know, caused by the dinosaurs, of course, but most of that happened only because somebody believed they had more control than they did. Like, even to the last movie that held through the whole locust thing. Those were going to go out of control. They were already out of control. And of course, you know, the movie, it was solved eventually, but, you know, that could have gone much worse than all of the other movies. I think the snails died. Yeah. Or they left up the walls. It was the species. Mod right. If that's the one with the snakes, then they've definitely got wall climbing AI. But yeah, like in the first movie, it was sabotage. Oh no, there's a snare. In the second movie, what was it? Let me think about it. Okay, so Jurassic Park 1, of course, sabotage with that guy. See, nobody cares, that guy. And the second movie, I think, what was they were trying to get the hide the second island's, save the second island's people, or dinosaurs, not the people. And then some military company came in and fucked stuff up. Started shooting and killing and blah, blah, blah. That stuff. And that messed stuff up. Then they brought the T-Rex back to New York. That was the second movie. The third movie was, yeah, let's see. Yeah, it was when that kid got stuck on the island and had to survive for a bunch of time, and the parents tried to get to them. And they just, lied about stuff, took out loans and all kinds of bad stuff to get this one guy onto an island, which he wasn't even on to begin with, thinking that he was the expert of that one island, But he was on the other island. That stuff. And, just basic human stupidity. And it's just basic example of that one guy was making a video about plot holes. And a person not acting logical is not a plot hole, it's just a person acting natural. But in all of these movies, I believe a danger could have existed without the people having been complete morons. And I believe all of them could have been better for it. In the first Jurassic World movie, they built the big Giga T-Rex fuck-off massive thing out of who knows how much DNA. And obviously the military meddled in the creation of that, hid a bunch of stuff, and it classified DNA, that thing. And, we all know how that went. It escaped because, because they don't double fence. Because they don't airlock the systems. Because they don't have a quick and easy way for human-sized people to get out of the dinosaur-sized cage without opening the big dinosaur-sized door in the case of an emergency. Like, cage holes. Like, the gaps between bars. Making those not T-Rex sized. Making them human sized. I believe the whole movie would have ended right there. The guy could have just ran out. And then, without human stupidity being a factor anymore, the monster could have escaped anyways. Somehow. Some other way. Like, hey, maybe it could hide a tunnel somehow, or, they had the door there to begin with. Maybe it could have slowly made a weak point in the hinges. That kind of stuff. What was this second Jurassic World movie? Yeah, that's when they tried to get the Velociraptor off the island for DNA harvesting purposes and stuff like that. And lied about stuff. Lots of lying in these movies. A lot of people just not telling the truth of what they want, why they want it. That's when the, This guy has a whole foundation he's taken over for Hammond, was it? To try and make sure this estate is taken care of correctly. Oh, that's gonna be fun. And you know, his son, I think, was it, lied to him about how he was helping, helping by selling dinosaur DNA to the military. Who are really going to just do what they did in the end. I mean, not even selling it to the military, selling it to every military, selling it to all of them. And, I mean, as bad as it is to just constantly arm up the US Army, instantly skipping to the Cold War era with all that stuff, and having everybody just get the shiny new teeth guns by these dinosaurs, I'm pretty sure it's worse. You know, if America is bad, which it is, getting them more powerful, if that's bad, getting everybody else more powerful is also bad. For just about the same reasons. A few more here, a few less there. It spreads out. Net negative, I would say. And, who was the idiot in that one? Yeah, they for some reason had all of this equipment and decided, to get people who cared about these animals personally on board. And that's the, I get getting the good guys involved. That was the stupid thing. The idiot thing. Aside from, the potential side effects of arming the whole world with dinosaurs, which happened anyways at the end. And then the next stupid thing was releasing all the dinosaurs. When, well, I guess, what's the genie out of a bottle at that point? I guess the bad guys didn't win, but the good guys also didn't. That kind of thing. One, two, three. And then the third movie, of course, the locusts. Which, by the way, even if you make it so that your crops are immune to the locusts, I can't say that word for some reason. What about trees? What about, look at any mountain that's standing, or any hill that's standing, any area where there's dirt and where there's trees and where there's elevation. And if you take away those trees, you know what you take away? You take away the roots, in the earth, tree roots, which are holding all of the dirt in place. So, easy first consequence, mudslides. After the locusts eat all the trees. Second consequence, holy shit, no more trees. You are not producing enough to keep up with the sheer mass of plant matter that is lost when you get rid of all of the stuff that you personally are not producing at this moment. Nothing good is gonna come from that. And I mean, that's in the case that it works as intended. I mean, assuming it's... They are gonna eat trees when they run out of crops. And it's locusts. They are specifically the one animal known for changing according to the environment around them. If you take any species to commit bioterrorism for corporate benefit, you do not use the locust. You literally just about any other animal. A termite. Use termites. I mean, that's gonna get rid of trees first and foremost, I guess, but I don't know, you could probably get a termite to eat some little bit of rice. Some kind of beetle. A beetle. Beetles kill crops. Uh, potato beetles. Just make those and sell potatoes. Just as a test run, keep it to potatoes for now. And then later on, if you see that it's working and you can keep up with the demand for potatoes, then, introduce some other beetle that eats another plant. I'm giving bad people advice here, but if they're gonna do bad shit, at least I want them to do it in a way that's clever so that they have some kind of plan. The difference between idiocy and conspiracy is that the conspiracy at least has some kind of idea behind it. And, I would prefer to be in a conspiracy than in an idiocy. It's, it's gonna be bad, but it's not gonna be unplanned bad. It's gonna be contingencies and possibly even an undo button of some kind. Which is really the first thing you should develop if you do anything like that. Before even thinking about what species to use, think about what you will use to kill that species. It begins. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Because of the way that it works, hold on, let's see. That's gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna just close that off. This needs to be cleaned up now. I'm gonna be throwing it in here first. Later on, I'm gonna make more buckets and then I'm gonna clean it up proper. Possibly even use pumps at some point. You know what I would really love if these kind of puddles would very slowly look outwards towards, towards areas far away and try to flow there. Not in any kind of fast way, so of course it's not gonna be performance heavy, but slowly. Just a little bit of looking and solving. I wonder if I will live to see the day where this kind of mod is gonna be just the base game and the game is gonna be optimized for it. And it's not gonna be a gimmick game where it's like 5 things you can do. And 4 of them involve this one gimmick of water flow. Okay. Fixing. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but a lot of games have this thing where they are made around a gimmick. Like, Timberborn is made around controlling water flow, and a lot of the things you do in Timberborn thus are based around water flow. But Timberborn is an anti-example about this, but in a lot of games, like They Are Billions, has the gimmick, ways to deal with a gimmick, and then that's like 2 more things you can do after that. And that's the whole game. And feels very limiting. Yikes. That's why I like modded Minecraft so much. I can make something about the gimmick, and then I can keep adding. That's how I reached this point. The sun is shining into my eyes now. Definitely gonna be adding some quality of life mods if I remember. Auto-exchanging tools within a mod pack I'm playing on the side. And it's so nice. Moss is such a great way of finding out where water is, by the way. Immersive weathering is a great addition to this. You just start digging towards some area and you see, oh well, that's a lot of green. Better be careful. I say, and I'm immediately not careful. Now this could be changed. Immersive weathering is also one of the only ways to get infinite stone-like resources. Like, you know, a kind of cobbleworks. Because using sandstone and water, you can have sand piles build up below sand. So, if there's empty space, and that you can mine and turn into lava. I think, hold on, let's see. Like these piles, you can make them into sand. Sand you can make into some kind of way. Yeah. Hold on. I believe there was some kind of way. Oh well. It's not gonna lead to all of the things you can make with just the magma. lava, but it's gonna go a long way. I did try finding a mod which creates puddles outside when it rains. Problem was it also created puddles inside when it rained, so you know, that didn't work. I could use these inside on the sides of the walls. That way they will grow, feed me, and be out of the way. Like here on these sides. Make these into planters. Definitely gonna be using more of these at some point, I think. So I might as well make a few extra. Alright, and go. Whoa. Okay, let's look around, see if there's any more danger. Oh, we had some more slime. Nice. Gonna be taking some more wood. Dynamic trees is, by the way, also gonna slowly have them spread out. If the area counts as a forest, it's gonna be fast. If not, it's gonna be slow. Depending on the area. Depending on the settings, it's gonna not happen at all. Let's see, can I harvest? No, I can't. Well, I'm going to take them away. What I would love to have is my own little water flow area. Like having my own little waterfall in some zone. Like a Dwarf Fortress kind of thing, you know, mist generator. There's a lot of snails outside. Or just their trails. Look on the map. There's the insides and holy shit, what? They've taken over this zone here. What the hell? Man. I think I'm gonna have enough. You know, one thing I wanted to test for a while is this kind of playthrough, but with snow. Like, having a snow apocalypse where snow level is slowly rising till it, you know, slowly packs deeper and deeper, you know, creating pressure. Not to the point of breaking any fuel blocks, but to the point that if you want to make anything happen outside, you are gonna have to dig through the snow and eventually break through the ice that builds. Like a true ice age kind of thing. Or just the average Canadian winter. And let's see what happens there. But again, mods are just about 90% to the way there to what I would like to see with that. And those last few percentages are really cool. Oh, nice. Okay. I think it's about time to think about farming. That whole plot there is meant for just a tree, but I can expand to the sides and make my farm there too. Oh, I may need to take a break because the sun is really starting to target me directly right now. And it's not fun. Okay, first off, let's see about the tree area. Thinking one deep, huh? At least. Let's just dig out these channels. Ideally, what I'd like to see in this tower is having it slowly channel down water from the outside and use it up in several different industries. Farming, steam power, all that kind of stuff. And that way create a perimeter where I can have an open wall where water can flow in, but it's not gonna overflow because it's gonna be used up. That's the dream. Right? Like a sort of floating semi-Atlantis, keeping the sea at bay kind of thing. A kelp farm is gonna be interesting too, because it's gonna be a lot of bother, a lot of... It's gonna be annoying if it's ever gonna break and I need to, you know, get the water back into it or away and get new water into it. Just gonna leave that open for now. Water pressure is not a thing here, so fortunately it's not gonna spill over that. Look at that, already growing. Thinking these pillars are gonna shrink run at these places, the base is not gonna be this big. And then I'm gonna place torches on the pillars themselves. Later on replace the pillars with brickwork. Or something fancy. And that's gonna be the area. I should see where this water comes from. Oh dang. Straight from here, okay. So that's interesting. It's always funny to see many ways that kind of stuff can worm its way through the area. You think you're safe, and then you open an area like that up in the wrong way, and bam, you are slowly dooming yourself. Ouch. Oh, it does give me an opportunity to easily get started on a farm. Because farmland is gonna constantly use up water. So ironically, I'm gonna need water to survive the flood. So some kind of way of channeling the water inside is needed. And if I mess up, it's gonna dry out the farmland and the crops are gonna die and I'm gonna starve to death. And that's not fun. By God, this looks better. It's like 1.7.3 stuff. I do have a mod which will allow me to use electrical lights. I think I've got a few actually. I'm going to be switching over to that at some point if I get to it. Because I like the idea of getting out of the Stone Age like that into an area of true industrialization. Oh goody. I had this issue before my original role, and I believe the only solution I could find was making an actual true path to the sky. Which would be really annoying. I'm gonna see if more light can solve this. And the sun once again shines into my eyes. Got this big ass TV in front of me. I've got a whole curtain and stuff. Still, the sun seeks my retinas. And it finds it unprotected by human means. Ow. Okay, hmm. I think the next step would be taking care of the proper farm for food. What do I have in terms of seeds? In terms of seeds, I believe I have absolutely nothing. Yeah. I would also need to take care of the water channel thing. So if I take this and if I dig around like this, how far does the water follow this far? Is that final? Do we have another block? Another block for one, for two, for three, and that's about it. Yes, okay. It's surprisingly vanilla in this kind of way, but obviously not truly. I believe I'm going to... Yeah. So... that cave is gonna be encountered many ways throughout this whole process. Don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. Is there... snow layer, create... Dynamic trees leaves. Naturalist... The only thing I would say that could maybe tell it to die if there's no natural sunlight is the actual, you know, light value you get. Oh man, the sun is once again coming back with a vengeance. Didn't do shit to you. Why are you doing this to me? Right. Structural, critical crafting table. The old classic. Load-bearing crafting table. That's the term I looked for. So I do believe if I were to make this happen, I could run water wheels off this. Which is now something to consider, because getting wool was a pain. Ah, look, unreliable, inconsistent, but... Maybe it looks for some light above it. That's gonna be the last try before I have to go to glass making. So I think if I make this happen, if I take these two away, it's gonna be a lot more consistent in this area. Then I'm gonna go up till here, here, for the next layer. And like that, I'm gonna slowly spiral down, and I'm gonna see about how I'm gonna take away what on the individual levels. Bridges are gonna go over it, and farms are gonna come from it, kind of stuff. Irrigation. I like thinking about these kind of things in games. Especially when the world's not static, when the world can change. Or the change is not something you need to constantly look out for. I believe I have an idea. If I make these kind of channels that are open off to the side, I can probably very easily make individual little alcoves with farmland. Another way would be to have the farmland entirely along the sides of the spiral. And that way I can have a minecart just go up and down with a contraption and harvest that way. I am now contorting because of the sun. That time of day. Another one. Gonna wait a little bit. Show something which I saw in the other world, which gonna be the reason I definitely want to close this one off. But you know, you would expect there's like a small cave system and it's gonna be filling up and then it's gonna flow on onwards. But no. If you allow me to adjust my seating to prevent the giant laser fireball from burning out my eyeballs. Yeah. It's a good idea to close off caverns like that and not expect them to fill up. I'll show you. I'm just deleting some messages I tried to send when Discord was creaking earlier today. Okay. Back to my old bullshit here. 30 minutes, that's plenty. Allow me to demonstrate why closing off caves is a good idea. Do I have I do not. I'd like a lantern with me. Torches don't emit light underwater here, so, you know, this way I can see a little bit of what's around me. These I had to cheat in, by the way, because Stony Shores doesn't have that kind of stuff. So I've played mostly in this area. I've never really left it for the spirit of the challenge. And one day I'll find this cavern. And I think, oh, that's neat. Underwater adventure. And I noticed some strange movements. Oh, it keeps going. I'm gonna have to find the spot. This is obviously not it. I haven't mined out the iron yet. This may be it. Yes. Ah, yes, yes, this is it. You know, just open to the water. Slowly flowing in. And so, you know, this water, all that water down there, wasn't there before it started flooding. That's how far it got in the entire time I've played here. A good few hours. Several days, perhaps. And so, yes, I do believe if you want to maintain the wonder of finding a dry underwater cavern in your slowly flooding world, you would be interested in closing that kind of stuff up. At least when it's close by. Uh, and in my base, I would say Chloroliphize is close by. Mm. Let's see. There are settings which would allow this whole area to flood right up until this level. They would also make mining blocks entirely impossible in any reasonable way. It would be extremely annoying. With an opening already existing here, I believe this would be a good first test area for the whole water farm thing. Yep. Yeah, right there. 3, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, okay. One deeper, and then I'm gonna just see. Well, let's dig out from that. This I hope to be dry, so I'm gonna place torches there. I'm gonna be pausing and restarting the recording at the 3-hour mark. Just to make moving the file around easier. The stream shouldn't be interrupted by that, but you never know what may happen at some point. Computers being what they are, magic is always to be expected. And sometimes it is dark magic. Curses. Evil spirits. That kind of stuff. I'm gonna be going all the way over here. Lowering the floor overall by 2. And then I'm gonna place some dirt. I'm just imagining a variant of this mod where all plant life needs water nearby, including grass, shrubs, trees, and all of them slowly use it up. Imagining a drying out world. That could be an interesting challenge as well. Finding ways to use magic or some kind of formula to get a net positive out of the water you do have. Like using plant magic, which of course needs plants, can you at some point get a positive amount of water out of things? Or will that just be impossible? Okay, and oregano. Right, I do have that with me, so... The way I'm gonna clean off excess is by just tilling this dirt. That alone was already gonna get rid of some of the excess. I'm not gonna be pumping it all out like this. Also, let's close this off. For all the reasons named previously. Right, oh dang. Now for a comfortable exit, I'm gonna do something like this. Gonna be a proper staircase later. Yeah, I'm gonna need glass for trees. Okay. These don't need water, right? No, let's use slabs. If you've got this amount of mods for this kind of weird thing, by the way, I definitely do believe that form should go over function in a lot of ways. Like if you're already gonna make some weird waterworld thing, you may as well waste some space just to make it a little fancy. It's not about the challenge being difficult, it's about the challenge being interesting. Let's get some seeds. It's time to make another one. Can you believe that I'm gonna be looking for a lot of cobblestone at some point? Like, I'm gonna be almost desperate for it, because I'm gonna be needing it so much for all the... No. Not even the infinite generation stuff that I'd like to use it for. All of them can grow, that's good. That looks good. I definitely should have chosen a flat area, I think. Still can have like this shit all over it, but it's gonna be a lot more annoying. Ah, it's because I'm shift. I believe. Oh, okay, maybe that. Yeah, that could be it. I was wondering why it fell the other way, but It could just be because I'm shift clicking because I'm holding shift while felling them. That could definitely be a factor. Oh dang. Headphones are running out of power. Whoops. Don't want that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Connect the cable to it. Come on. Come on. Okay. There we go. Okay. And now, since I am on like basically no hunger bars, I am going to be looking and waiting to see how this develops. Yep. This is the waiting portion. I'll see if I have some audio only kind of video in my backlog. That's the Voices of the Void Lord from Joel, which is always nice. I should definitely have it's the highlight list, so it's not gonna be all of the stuff. Let's test out studio mode. So how does that work? I believe it is for previewing another screen that you are about to change to, so I can... Yeah, no, this is a preview, and right now you are seeing something else. So I can choose the reaction. Oh, nice. It's already almost set up. Okay. Filters. You know what? Full screen. And group. No. Can I turn this into something else? Can I copy? I can copy. Okay. Over to reaction C. Can I paste? I can paste a reference. Perfect. And now I can full screen this. I can full screen this. Okay.
We are gonna do.
Perfect. Okay, that's nice. That's super nice. Webcam is off. That's okay. I believe everything's ready. Isn't that nice?
Voice of the Void. I know you guys have been waiting.
In the meantime, I'm gonna keep a lookout on the farm and stuff.
Some shit posts. Look at this. These were going on stream live.
What the fuck? Okay.
We had that. We had this. Top 10 anime villains. Top 10 saddest anime endings. You know. And then somebody did this from Mike's fight.
Yeah. Okay.
French. Yeah, come on. This isn't my first rodeo.
Ah.
You can't tell me all about this. Come on.
I've never seen that.
Oh, that's condescending as hell. Oh. If I start like abusing the engine here, I feel at some point some gray alien's gonna chase me throughout the signal simulating, and I'm just gonna like start throwing shit at him, like. Hey, that might actually work. What is that? Okay, I don't want to. No, I don't want to go in the fucking woods. I want to go in the goddamn.
Oh man, that is old.
Okay, open the fucking door already.
Ah.
No, I came from here.
So many.
I'm not sure. Oh, Jesus.
So many people make that mistake.
I'm annoyed by this. It's because like these woods look similar to my own woods. And
I don't remember.
The game is based on like signal simulators.
Some VTuber, I think, Deme made that mistake.
God, no. Turn around, Joe. Fuck off. What is it? Okay, listen. This is not the time to be messing around. It's in the sky. No. Listen, I haven't even made it to the fucking base yet. Okay, relax. Console. Joel. What? Wait. How the fuck did it... What are you talking about? How does it know my name? Did it read my computer? It's in the tutorial and you missed it. So this is just horrendous coincidence. This is just horrendous coincidence. It's called Joel.
Oh man. Ah. I mean, of course, learning about that, but it's so funny to see.
Yo!
Oh man.
What the fuck? Oh. So if you hold shift down, the Windows 98 breaks. Press shift to run a quick scan. Okay, why does Joel sound so sore? Because did you watch Vine Wrestle last night? Take this, aliens. That's right. Soon I'll be conquering you with not be downloading shit, but with violence. Wait, where'd I put it? Fuck. Oh no. Oh no. All the consequences. All the consequences. No, where'd I leave it? No, where the fuck did I put?
I have to open it with that. Oh my.
Array of mathematical problems. Well, mathematical is spelled wrong, so too bad. Mathematical? Come on. You might be smart, robot, but basic spell check, Well, next game, everybody. I'm sorry, what? No, whoever 9 put in last digit. Oh, you gotta do them in order. Okay, so this is obviously 12. So 1, 2? Or what do you mean? Joe moment. Ruined? So stop, restart. Okay. So 14.
Oh.
No, that's what. This is the last digit. So okay, so this is 0. Minus 1 is 9, and this is 7. Okay. All right. But this isn't puzzles. This is little children's math. Okay. Well, thank God, because I'm a big baby then. What the fuck? Okay. I'm happy I can do it, but. I thought this was gonna be way worse.
Don't mind the background noises. I'm gonna be going outside to get some more seeds. Cause this ain't it.
Math for charity. I'm here to look for fucking aliens, alright? Not for finger family bullshit, alright? Fuck off. Pipe puzzle. Oh my god. Okay, bye. No, error. No, I did that DOS style. And nope. Wait, I'm not supposed to slide it. Oh, yes, I am. No. Do I really? I mean, that's really finicky. Come on. No.
The snail grouped all over the mountain.
Oh boy. Alright, kick ass. Oh. Right.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, I don't like that. What the fuck, man? You know what? Oh, right. Say me, Marcianito. Okay. Alright, guys, that's the tutorial. That really fucked me.
That's interesting.
I mean, it's unbelievable, man.
I definitely could have kept the insane robot angle on the later tutorials. But I think the lights are interesting. And the current ones too.
Let me guess, I gotta lock it too. Man, why is it so fucking dark?
Nope. No more grass inside my compound.
Jesus Christ, can you put some fucking rugs down or something? Is there not a light switch in this place? Okay, thank you. Good lord. I'm gonna be sitting here looking at signals, and suddenly, as I'm sitting, it's gonna be a little shape moving here. Just. Alright, I might have a heart attack if it does that. I have to see if there's a bathroom. Oh, what the fuck is this? No. Where is the lights? What the hell? Okay, well I found my escape vehicle in case the UFOs show up. Oh, this thing is wonky, man. I should have closed that fucking garage. What if I do this? What if I do this? Oh. No! No, 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 fuck off, no, no. I thought it was like a funny slice. Oh, I better be fucking locked out of this. Yeti ass out of here. God, there's gonna be an alien, isn't it? That's the bathroom? This is the fucking bathroom? There's a bunch of fucking mannequins in this fucking bathroom. No, 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 no. I'm not gonna sit. Why the fuck is there a cheeseburger in the fucking bathroom? Why is there a bunch of cum on the floor? No, there's a bunch of Chinese food here. There's a microwave. There's a poop bucket.
I'm gonna have to revisit these versions at some point.
The triangle UFO, I believe. Oh, great, great. Oh. Okay, well, first off, these assholes are getting the fuck out of my base right now. I'm not gonna stand for this. You guys get the fuck out of here. Oh, there's some in the garage. You're also getting evicted. Look at this shit. Alright. Now, out! Out! You don't pay rent. Stick the fuck outside and don't come the fuck back. Bye, bye, bye. This whole family of mannequins can fuck off. Okay. Don't come back. Take your Chinese food and leave. Okay, well, I'm gonna bring you with me because you're a shit bucket.
Oh, that crusty bucket. Oh, man.
Right, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna collect my feces next to my. Alright, because I don't trust that fucking room at all. No, do you remember last time with the bathroom? Alright, there's gonna be an alien peeking through here. I'm gonna start pissing in the sink, and it's gonna be one of the worst experiences in my entire life. No. Day one. What? What was that? What the fuck's... Lock the... Oh, Jesus. Oh, the doors are lockable. Did I lock the door? Oh, no, I didn't. What is that noise? Let's, Gee, that sound is so scary. It doesn't need to be that way. Doors are unlocked. What are you talking about? No, no, they're not. Can you stop? And we might get a signal here. Our first signal of tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I have a feeling these mannequins is gonna come back, and there's gonna be a fucking mannequin that's gonna stand behind me as I check these signals eventually.
Ah, the clothes are gone. Completely.
I'm gonna check this just in case.
Oh, man.
What the fuck? Was he always here? Was he always here? No, leave. Don't come back. I'm about to starve to death. You're serious? Oh my god, I actually have a food meter? I have to actually eat? Are you serious? My god. I have to eat the burger? I don't want to use it right now. You can't tell me not to to flush over and over again. Does that telescope work? Oh, okay. I know why this game does this. Okay. I'm gonna look into this fucking telescope, okay? And you know what it's gonna be? You know what's gonna fucking be? It's gonna be like, ooh,
I don't think we have any event linked to that, by the way.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here.
I'm gonna have
Nothing.
a fucking heart attack. I'm not sure, but here's one of my signals. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Oh, it's so nice. It is so nice sounding. It downloaded a Vox Skelter stream, everybody. Okay. Delete data. I thought it was a fucking kibble machine for cats. I'm like, well, okay, here comes my kibbles. Is it a fucking machine? I'll eat that. It's disturbing. Above you, what? But that's the sun. That's the sun.
Oh, man.
130.
Those old graphics. Nothing fancy, nothing at all.
What the fuck?
Oh.
What the fuck? What is a drone? It's a fucking UFO. What the fuck? I'm so was mine, you bald asshole! Yoink!
Okay, I've confirmed. Am I back? Yeah, I'm back. I've confirmed that the farm seems to be working. Nothing here has dried out. I've placed 2 new berries over here and some new seeds. Now I just need to, hope that it's gonna be ready before I starve to death. And I should look outside again for sunlight, and then when sunlight comes, is the water level any different? Oh, this. Hate these things. They count as enemies, So they appear as enemies on the map. And they don't care about light level. Obviously. At least they provide something. Let's roll the lottery. Bones! This gives me bones. I've got bones. I've got a lot of bones. What am I doing? Man. Man. Okay, now each of these spots is gonna be a little bit faster for taking away the water, so like the bigger the farm, the more of the water it uses. So let's observe. You can see through the gap over here if I don't know how to quickly. Occasionally this drops off because at any point here water is used up. The excess that that has been spilled over here, that's also been used up. The whole thing is now a little bit in motion. All from over here. I did actually in my other world, to begin with, only have one of the tanks used for flooding the world. But it started to actually run empty, so I had to add another one. Because I've used it with just 3 farms, I've been using up the amount of water that's been flowing in. As well as what flowed into the cavern, of course, so, you know, that was a factor. But still, that's pretty intense. Now. I've got bread. Let's see if I can make a grindstone. The millstone. I don't have any on this side. Do I have granite or something? Nope. Well, let's take a look outside. I do believe it's about time for me to make a door. Right, so that's gonna prevent it from coming in for a good while. This is pretty big. How's it looking, this side here? Is this place filled in any yet? Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Well, that's tough. Oh. Whoa. I believe there's an underwater cave. Something happened here. Something's gulping all the water here. Yep. Oh my. Look at that. Wow. Oh, wow. Lush caverns, eh? Wow. Yeah. Ooh. Let's get out of here. Collect some kelp on the way. What I did want to add is something that gives me flippers I can use. Because that just seems like a good bunch of fun. To be able to swim a little faster. Like now what my options are is breathing underwater and thinking real well, so I can walk underwater. Almost like above water. But that's not really fun. Here's, by the way, here's what the mod is meant to be experienced like. It's like, oh wow, doesn't form infinite water sources. Oh man, the whole water level is lowering a little. That's the intended experience. It almost looks vanilla, right? Almost. Actually, yeah. Okay. Did you hear that? Or am I more sleep deprived than I thought? Sounded like something was digging. Best recipe. Oh, let's go. Look at the new recipes unlocked. Okay. Fun little trick. You can strip trees for felling them for a little bit extra out of your axe. Just a tiny. Okay, no. Unless you go by default settings, in which case they are basically worthless. Uh, Okay. Now, the next real thing I would need would be a press in order to make the plates from which I would make a fan so that I can wash the flour I would like to make with the mill. Basically, I need a bunch of iron. Bunch of iron. How long did I stream? I'm feeling end of stream right now. 3 hours, 50 minutes, just about. I'm saying that's the end of stream. Yeah, yep. I'm gonna do something else. Ooh. Bah. I hope I can finally start keeping up with this, maybe. I've had a good couple of weeks, so I'm back in a good state again. You know. I I did almost have a situation where I would potentially starve, you know? That was fun. Got past that. And then I had a bunch of appointments and letters and stuff like that to take care of. And that was fun. And then I had one last letter which sounded like, oh no, something bad's about to happen, but oh no, we don't want to tell you that's something bad, so we're gonna say it's something nice. And that was fun. But yeah, in the end it turned out, well, so far at least, that it was actually something not bad, so yeah, that's a good week, or good few weeks I've had. Oh well. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today, one way or another. I think a good path would be like by every 2 days. Every 2 days, just an hour, maybe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Gotta figure out some better way of maybe entertaining myself aside from just, I like to listen to music or watch videos, and when streaming, I can't really do that. And right now, I don't yet have the audience that could entertain me by just talking some bullshit or whatever. So that's the situation. Oh well, I'll figure it out.